So hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to Kreatryx channel. So first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Vishal Soni and I have cleared engineering services examination 2 times from electronics and telecommunication branch, both times in double digit rank. In 2014 my rank was 98 and in 2015 my rank was 25th. I have served as a Group A Gastro Officer in Indian Railways and in Indian Telecommunication Services. So most of you must have been following me on the Kreatryx channel for electromagnetic field theory. So if you are a seeker of a free education, this is the channel for you, and you must understand that all these free initiatives is coming your way because of the Unacademy. So Unacademy is the revolution in the field of the free education and the affordable education. So how can you access those free courses? So if you want to access the free courses, you must immediately subscribe this channel, Kreatryx channel, because all the top educators of the country is providing the free course on this channel. And that free course is absolutely brilliant in content, that is systematic, that is organized, and that is complete. So complete playlist you will be getting of a particular subject. You can develop the concept, you can gain confidence. More than that, you can love the subject. So immediately subscribe this channel. Secondly, if you want to access more free content, then you must immediately download the Unacademy Learners app, because on the Unacademy Learners app, top educators of the country are conducting the free special classes. In that free special classes, you can get topic wise clarity of a particular concept. And do not forget to follow me on the Unacademy Learning app. So you can also access the courses. So you must have two things. First is your YouTube channel. This YouTube channel, Kreatryx YouTube channel, must be subscribed. Secondly, you must understand that you should have the Unacademy Learning app. That is must for you in order to crack the examination. So these are the parts of the free education. And if you want to organize your content well, if you want more comprehensive manner, if you want other advantages of the Unacademy, then what are the other initiatives that is running by the Unacademy? So another initiative that is running by the Unacademy is Unacademy Plus. So on the Unacademy Plus, this is very affordable for those who actually want to take their preparation to the next level. So आपको Unacademy Plus में क्या क्या मिलेगा? You will be getting the live classes on a fixed time, so that you can get more disciplined, you can get more organized, and you have something in your mind that at this particular time my classes are going to run. Apart from that, you will get free test series designed by the educator itself. So gone those times when we have lot of errors in the test series, we do not have the discussions of the test series. So there the test series will be conducted by the educators. They themselves will be discussing the solutions of that particular thing. So you can imagine that your preparation is going to the next level for this. Apart from that, those who have prepared themselves for the examination, so for them there are crash courses also available. Again the crash courses will going to help you in achieve good ranks. Those who have already achieved good ranks and want to improve their rank, for them there are rank improvement batches. More than that, you can also see that there are unlimited practice sessions. So what do you understand by unlimited practice session? Which means there will be various doubt solving sessions. Apart from the doubt solving sessions, there are weekly quizzes, and with the help of those weekly quizzes, you can enhance your problem solving skills. So lot of unlimited doubt solving sessions, lot of quiz sessions, systematic content, structured content. You can download the PDF after the lectures, so you don't have to waste your time in order to making notes. You can utilize those times to practice the particular concepts, or you can use those times to just write down the formulas so that you can remember those formulas quickly. Apart from this plus subscription, there is also one subscription which is known as Iconic. So Iconic subscriptions are for them who actually do not have the self motivation but having the talent. So if they are having the talent and you do not have the self motivation, that how can I push myself to crack the examination, so in this Iconic subscription you will be assigned a personal coach. So this personal coach is going to be with you every time, and he will help you to achieve your dreams. You will get a study planner which will be customized for you. You will get the expert guidelines who have already topped the examination. They will be basically hand holding you to crack the examination. So if you think you are not self motivated, if you think you do not have the proper background to crack any particular competitive examination, so this Iconic subscription is must for you. This is going to help you. So if you want the free education, then YouTube channel and the special classes are must for you. And if you can afford a little bit, how much you should afford, that we'll discuss in a while. But if you can afford a little bit, you should come on to this Unacademy Plus. And more than that, if you want the expedited process in your preparation, आप जल्दी से एग्जाम निकालना चाहते हैं, जल्दी से अपनी गलतियां सुधारना चाहते हैं, so this Iconic subscription is for you. Then now let us start today's lecture, which is on the communication system. So now let us start the lecture.
Hello friends, welcome to this lecture of communication system. So in this lecture we will solve some problems of amplitude modulations. So let us read out this question. In this question it is saying the system shown in the figure A and here m of t is a low pass signal with bandwidth of w hertz. So first information which is given to us is this m of t signal is a low pass signal and its bandwidth is w hertz. So let me consider its bandwidth at w and w. So this is given. Now the frequency response of the band pass filter is also shown. If it is desired that the signal z of t is equal to 10 of xt, then we should find out the maximum value of w should be less than or equal to. So let us try to understand the question. In this question, this x of t is passed through an amplifier and the characteristic of that amplifier is this 10xt plus x square t. Now it is passed through this band pass filter and the output is this z of t, it is expecting to be 10 times of x of t. So if we want this 10 times of x of t, then what should be the restriction on this value of w? So first of all, the first information which is given in the problem is your m of t is a low pass signal and it has bandwidth of w hertz. So let me make its spectrum. So this is w, this will also become w, this frequency is f, this is mf. Now let's start from here. So first of all, this x of t is given to this particular amplifier, and what is this x of t? This x of t is mt into cos 2400 pi t. So first of all, let us understand this x of t. So this x of t is m of t cos 2400 pi t. So we know that if I have to write x of f, so x of f will become 1 by 2 m of f plus 1200 plus 1 by 2 m of f minus 1200, because it would represent the frequency of 1200 hertz, and we know that whenever any message signal is multiplied with carrier, so the message signal is shifted 1200 hertz leftwards, 1200 hertz rightwards, and overall divided by 2. So this is the spectrum of x of f. So second important information, that if I have to draw the spectrum of this particular x of t signal, then this spectrum must be, suppose if I consider this value as m of 0, this is 0 frequency. So the spectrum of this x of t will become, it is centered at 1200, it will become 1200 plus w, and it will become 1200 minus w. Similarly here also you can write it as minus 1200, it will become minus 1200 minus w, it will become minus 1200 plus w, and this peak value becomes m of 0 by 2. So this is the spectrum of x of t, and from this particular expression we have considered one restriction, that this w should be very much less than 1200, or this 1200 must be greater than w. Then only we can obtain the expression of a band pass signal. Now let us consider this y of t. What is this y of t? So in the problem, y of t is mentioned as 10 times of xt plus x square t. And what is this xt? This xt is nothing but mt into cos 2400 pi t. So this yt becomes 10 times of mt cos 2400 pi t plus mt cos 2400 pi t whole square. So it becomes y of t equal to 10 times mt cos 2400 pi t plus m square t cos square 2400 pi t. So this y of t becomes 10 times of mt cos 2400 pi t plus m square by 2 plus m square by 2 cos 4800 pi t. So finally this y of t becomes 10 times of mt cos 2400 pi t plus m square t by 2 plus m square t by 2 cos 4800 pi t. So we know that if I have considered the spectrum of m of t to be like this, which is from minus w to plus w, this is f, and this is m of f, this is m0. So if I have to draw the spectrum of m of t, so we know that m of t will basically refer to mt into mt in time domain. So in frequency domain it will get convolved, and whenever two similar signals are getting convolved, then their end frequencies will get added up, and the spectrum you can consider something like this. So I am not interested in the shape but rather frequency. So the spectrum of this particular m square t can be considered as like this. So if I consider my m square t to be pt, so you can write it as p of f. Now let us try to make the final spectrum of the signal. So the signal that we obtained as y of t, it is coming out to be 10 times of xt plus m square by 2, 10 times of xt plus m square by 2 plus m square by 2 cos 4800 pi t. Already have the spectrum of x of t, so from there we can obtain the spectrum of 10 times of x of t. We also have the spectrum of m square t, so we can obtain the spectrum of m square t. But what will be the spectrum of this m square by 2 cos 4800 pi t? So this m square t we have denoted it as pt, so you can write it as p of t by 2 cos 4800 pi t, or in the frequency domain you can write it as p of f plus 24 p of f minus 2400 upon 4, which means the spectrum of p of f will be shifted 2400 rightwards, 2400 leftwards, and so on. So this particular spectrum becomes centered at 2400, and it will become 2400 plus 2w, and this spectrum becomes 2400 minus 2w. Similarly, this spectrum can also be written as minus 2400 minus 2400 minus 2w minus 2400 plus 2w. So we have obtained the complete spectrum. So let me draw all the spectrum. So this is your y of t, which is 10 times of xt plus m square by 2 plus m square by 2 cos 4800 pi t. So we can draw the spectrum of yf, and we know that 10 times of x of t will look like this. So this will be 1200, this is 1200 plus w, this is 1200 minus w, and this spectrum is corresponding to 10 times of xt. Similarly on the negative side also, minus 1200 minus 1200 plus w minus 1200 minus w. So this is the spectrum of this 10 times of xt. We already had the spectrum of x of t, so these two will represent spectrum of 10 times of xt. So I'm not bothered about the amplitude, but it will represent 10 times of xt, and if you have to write the amplitude, you can write 10 times of m0 by 2. Now what will be the spectrum of this m square by 2? So we have written the spectrum of m square by 2 like this. It was from minus 2w to plus 2W. And what will be spectrum of this particular expression? So its spectrum we have also drawn separately, and it was coming out to be like this. It was at 2W. This was 2W minus 2400. It will be 2W plus 2400, and similarly this side also minus 2W. It becomes minus 2W minus 2400, and it becomes minus 2W plus 2400. So this is the situation till here. So this is the spectrum corresponding to m square by 2 cos 4800 pi t. This is the spectrum corresponding to m square t by 2 cos 4800 pi t, and this is the spectrum corresponding to m square t by 2. Now it is being passed through the filter. So it is being passed through a filter, and let us see what is given about the filter. So filter is given as it is existing from 700 to 1700 and minus 700 to minus 1700. So let me draw the filter here. So the filter is given as from 700 to 1700 and its negative counterpart also, minus 700 to minus 1700, and this value becomes 1. So add the output, which will be z of f, which is equal to yf into hf. It is expecting this z of f to be 10 times of x of f, or you can see that it is expecting this z of t to be 10 times of xt. So now this is the frequency spectrum with respect to 10 times of xt. This is with respect to m square t cos 4800 pi t, and this is with respect to m square t by 2. So now the filter must be such that it must allow the frequencies from 1200 minus w to 1200 plus w, or the positioning of this 700 and 1700 must be such that it must completely reject these two sidebands or these two spectrums, and it must completely reject this particular spectrum. So the positioning of the 700 and 1700 must be such that it must completely neglect the spectrum which is existing from 2W minus 2400 to 2W plus 2400, similarly minus 2W minus 2400 to minus 2W2 plus 2400. So this must be the situation. So now how can we place this particular 700? So from here it is very much clear that if we place our band pass filter something like this here and its negative counterpart here, then it will only allow this particular frequency band and rejects all the others. So what must be the situation on this particular frequency and this particular frequency? So from here you can see that this 700 frequency, which is from here you can compare, it must be greater than 2W, and obviously it must be less than 1200 minus W. So if this particular frequency I consider it as 700 Hertz, so this must be lying between 2W to 1200 minus W. Similarly this end, which is representing the frequency of 1700, it must lie between 1200 plus W to 2W minus 2400. So this 1700 must lie between 1200 plus W to 2W minus 2400. So this is the situation till here. It will be 2400 minus 2W. Let me correct these frequencies. It will be 2400. This will become 2400 minus plus 2W, and it will become 2400 minus 2W. Similarly here also minus 2400 minus 2400 minus 2W minus 2400 plus 2W. So it must be from 1200 plus W to 2400 minus 2W. Now it is correct. So the positioning we have already explained. So this must obviously be 2400 because we have already drawn its spectrum. So I have written 2W by mistake here. So you must correct it as 2400 and 2W in this particular direction and 2W in the opposite or negative direction. So now let us compare. So from the first restriction, this 2W was existing, which must be less than 700, and it must be less than 1200 minus 2W. So from first inequality, which is 2W less than 700, it is coming out to be W must be less than 350 Hertz. And from the second restriction, which is 700 should be less than 1200 minus 2W. So from here, you can also consider this 2W should be less than 500, and W from here comes out to be 250 Hertz. It must be 200 minus W. So W from here comes out to be less than 500 Hertz. So we must take intersection of these two expressions, which is W less than 350 Hertz intersection W less than 500 Hertz. So the intersection from here comes out to be W should be less than 500 Hertz. Let us observe the second situation. In the second situation, it is given that this 1700 must lie between 1200 plus W to 2400 minus 2W. So this 1700 must exist between 1200 plus W, and it should be less than 2400 minus 2W. So this is the second condition. So let us solve this second condition. So if I choose this particular inequality, so it becomes 1200 plus W less than 1700, or W comes out to be less than 500. And if I choose the second inequality, so second inequality comes 1700 should be less than 2400 minus 2W. So from here also you get 2W should be less than 700, or W should be less than 350. So from these two inequalities, we know that we must take the intersection of this W less than 350 intersection with W less than 500 Hertz. So the intersection again comes out to be W less than 350 Hertz. So from both the situations, we needed both these situations simultaneously. So this W less than 350 Hertz we also wanted intersection with W less than 350 Hertz. So both these situations we wanted simultaneously, so that spectrum on the left side as well as right side gets rejected. So these intersection comes out to be W less than 350 Hertz. Now let us see what is being asked in the question. So it is asking the maximum value of W. So we know that the restriction on the W comes out to be, it should be less than 350 Hertz. So obviously the maximum value you can consider it as 350 Hertz. So our answer in this case should be 350 Hertz. Now let's move on to the next problem. Now let us first of all read this question. In this question it is saying that M of is the Fourier transform of the message signal M of t, and here it is given the value of A as 100 Hertz and the value of B as 40 Hertz. Now it is also given that V of t is behaving as a carrier, which is cos 2 pi fct, and Wt is also behaving as a carrier, which is cos 2 pi fc plus at, and another important information is given as fc plus a. Now the cutoff frequencies of the filters are also mentioned at fc, and in the problem it is being asked what will be the bandwidth of the signal at the output of the modulator. So this is the output S of t, and we have been asked is its bandwidth. So first of all, let us accumulate all the informations which is given. So first of all, first information is given that the spectrum of this signal is m of f and which has shape like this. This has already been given in the problem. This is b, this is a, minus b, minus a, m of f versus f. So this shape is already given in the problem. Here it is. So we need not to consider with ourselves. It is given in the problem. Also it is given the values of a 100 Hz, values of b which is 40 Hz. Now first of all it is being multiplied with Vt, then it is passed through the high pass filter, and the cutoff frequency of this high pass filter is Fc and cutoff frequency of this low pass filter is also Fc. So let me denote a few points. Let me consider signal till here is as x1t. Its output I will call it as x2t, and this I will call it as x3t. So first of all let us evaluate x1t. We know that x1t will become m of t into Vt. So Vt we know is given as cos 2 pi fct. So this is our Vt. So now what will be x1f? This x1f will become x of f plus fc plus x of f minus fc. This is m of t. This is m of t. So it becomes m of f plus fc, m of f minus fc by 2. We already have the spectrum of m of t, which is m of f. So this is the spectrum of m of f. This point as b, this as a, this is as minus b minus a, and the peak value becomes 1. So this is mf versus f. Now in the problem it is also given that this fc must be very much greater than a. Now a is already greater than b, so fc should also be greater than a as well as it should be greater than b. So whenever you will make the spectrum of x1t, you know that to make the spectrum of x1t you have to shift the spectrum of m of t by fc unit rightwards and fc unit leftwards. So whenever you will shift it by fc unit rightwards, you have to add fc at every point. So you will add fc here, fc here, fc here and here. So this point becomes fc minus a, and from here you can see that this fc minus a will be positive, and then you need not to check about this fc minus b because this fc minus b will already become positive. So let me add fc everywhere. So when you will add fc everywhere, it will become fc minus a. This point will become fc minus b. Similarly, this will become fc plus b, it will become fc plus a, and this amplitude is divided by 2, so it becomes half. Similarly here also the same spectrum will be shifted leftwards, so this center frequency you can call it as fc. So now this point becomes minus fc plus a, minus fc plus b, minus fc minus b, and minus fc minus a. So this peak value also becomes half. So this is the spectrum of x1t. Now this frequency becomes minus fc. After that it is being passed through a high pass filter, and the cutoff frequency of the high pass filter should be fc. So we know that if this is the spectrum of x1f, then the spectrum of the high pass filter or the frequency response of the high pass filter should be, it should start from fc and it should move rightwards. Similarly here also it should start from minus fc and it should go in this direction. So this is the frequency response of high pass filter. So in order to obtain the x2t or the spectrum of x2f, you have to multiply these two spectrums. So we know that the x2f will become x1f into hf, or its inverse will become x2t. So I can directly draw the spectrum of x2t, and this spectrum becomes x2f, and it will exist from from FC plus B to FC plus A. So it will exist from FC plus B to FC plus A, and it will become minus FC minus B to minus FC minus A, and this peak value will become 1 by 2. Now, how to obtain this x3t? We know that x3t is nothing but x2t into wt, and this wt will become cos 2 pi fc plus a into t. So we can write x3f as x2 of f plus fc plus a plus x2 of f minus fc minus a, and this whole spectrum is divided by 2. So we simply have to shift this spectrum by fc plus a on the right side and fc minus a with the left side. So whenever you will shift the spectrum with fc plus a by right side, which means you have to add fc plus a in every value, so this value becomes 0, and whenever you will add fc plus a to this value, so it will become a minus b. So whenever you will shift the spectrum in order to obtain the spectrum of x3t, so this x3f will become x2f, so the spectrum of x3t will become x3f, and to plot the x3f you must shift the spectrum of x2f, which is here, this spectrum, by fc plus a unit rightwards and fc plus a unit leftwards. So whenever I will shift it by fc plus a unit leftwards, so I have to add fc plus a everywhere. So when you will add fc plus a everywhere, you will get this point as 0, and this point becomes a minus b, and this spectrum, this shifts to it shifts to 2fc plus a plus b and 2fc plus 2a, and peak value is divided by 2 again, so it will become 1 by 4. Now you also have to shift this spectrum by fc minus a unit leftwards, so you have to subtract fc minus a everywhere. So this will become minus fc minus a. Here also you have to subtract minus fc minus a. Here also you have to subtract minus fc minus a and minus fc minus a. So whenever you will subtract minus fc minus a, this point reaches to 0 frequency, this point reaches to, so you have to subtract fc plus a from everywhere. So when you will subtract fc plus a, so it will become 0, it will become b minus a, and so on. So we can draw the spectrum like this. This spectrum becomes b minus a, and another spectrum you will have which will be centered at minus 2fc minus a minus b, and it will become minus 2fc minus 2a. So you can see from this point that once you have to shift your spectrum by fc plus a unit leftwards, and once you have to shift your spectrum by fc plus a unit rightwards. So this is the idea behind this, or you could have also written it as x of fc plus a plus x2 of f minus fc plus a, and this whole will be divided by 2. So this particular spectrum is shifted fc plus a unit leftwards, and it is shifted fc minus a unit rightwards. So whenever you will shift fc plus a unit leftwards, you have to subtract fc plus a everywhere, or you could have added minus fc minus a everywhere. So that is why I have shown the symbol of minus here, because I am subtracting this fc plus a from this fc minus a. So now this is the situation, and in between here we will have some fc, here also we will have fc. Now after that, in order to obtain the spectrum of S of f, it is being passed through a low pass filter. Then again the cutoff frequency of the low pass filter is fc. So this will be the low pass filter. It will be from minus fc to fc, and the pass band gain is 1. So from here you can also say that if FC is greater than A, it is greater than B. So obviously FC will also be greater than A minus B. So that is why I have shown FC point here. So what will be the output of it? The output of the filter will be like this. And this is S of F versus F, and this is your S of T. So it becomes 0. This point becomes A minus B. This point becomes B minus A. And it is asking the bandwidth of ST. So what will be the bandwidth of ST? We know that bandwidth means highest positive frequency at which component is present minus lowest positive frequency at which component is present. So the bandwidth becomes A minus B minus 0, or the bandwidth comes out to be A minus B hertz. The value of A in the problem is given as I guess 100. Let us first check. A is given as 100, B is given as 40. So in this problem, A is given as 100, B is given as 40. So the bandwidth comes out to be 60 Hertz. So our answer in this case should be 60 Hertz. So this bandwidth which is asking, it should be 60 Hertz.
So if you have liked today's lecture and you want to subscribe to Unacademy Plus, the very first thing that you should understand that you should use this particular code. What is the code? The code is Vishal Gate. Write my name and attach GATE to it. So by using this particular code, you will be getting all the advantages of the Unacademy Plus. All the added advantages will be directly assigned to you. Secondly, you will directly come to under my guidance, and that will surely help you to crack the examination in the least possible time, and you will also get the guidance of the complete team. Okay, and the most important thing is that you will immediately get the 10% discount on that. So immediately you are enabled to get 10% discount once you use this coupon code. So for example, if you talk about the plus subscription, which is costing you 25,000 for 1 year, and if you use this coupon code VishalGate, immediately you are going to get 10% discount, which is 22,500. And if you talk about the iconic, for the iconic subscription of the 12 month, this will cost you around 40,400. So these are the cost of the 12 months. And if you want to talk about the 2-year subscription, cost of the plus, it is your 27,000 after discount. If you want more discount than 10%, and you have already attended the special classes, then you will be having some credits in your account. Do not forget to use those credits so that you can get more discount than 10%. Now, how can you pay these amounts? So there is one good news for you, that you can pay this amount by using credit cards and debit cards by using the facility of the zero cost EMI. So if you want to pay this particular amount of 22,500 with the help of zero cost EMI, so the zero cost EMI can be availed by using credit cards and debit cards. Remember, you can use the credit card of any company, but the debit card is allowed for HDFC and the Bajaj Finserv. Apart from that, if you want to directly pay this much of amount, you think that this particular amount is the most affordable fees that can be provided to you for 1 year subscription, तो आप directly क्या कर सकते हैं? You can use this credit card, debit card, direct payment. You can also go for the EMI options, okay, and you can directly pay this amount by using net banking. Every time you think of the Unacademy Plus subscription, the first thing that should come in your mind is this particular code. Do not forget to use this code once you take the subscription, because I have already told you that this particular coupon code is going to give you the lot of advantages, so you cannot miss the opportunity to use this code. So every student who want to come on to the Unacademy Plus, they want to take the advantages of the Unacademy Plus, they want to empower themselves in the best possible manner in this digital era, they want to be the part of this revolution, then this is the time for you. You do not have to wait for it. If you are in the first year, if you are in the second year, you are in the third year, the best possible time is right now to prepare for the examination, to dedicate yourself, to give yourself the opportunity so that you can get the success as early as possible. Apart from that, you should also join this GATE aspirant group. So this GATE aspirants group is already having 150k plus students, so you can join it. There are a lot of discussions going on between students. You can get the advantage of those discussions. Okay, you can also join this Kreatryx channel, which is a Telegram channel. So everyone has to join this channel so that you can get all the PDFs of the lecture which is being assigned to you. Fine. There are various channels which you can go for it. So various channels in the association with Kreatryx. So you can follow the channel of your interest. And this is it in today's lecture. So let us meet in the next lecture. Thank you so much.